we talk about powering our computers, the first thing that comes to our mind is the processor. We use the frequency of a processor in hertz for comparison and as a measure of the processor's speed. For starters, frequency is the rate at which an event occurs in a particular interval of time. Take for example this clock. The frequency of the hour hand is 1 upon 12 hours, whereas the frequency of minute hand is 1 upon 1 minute. 1 Hz is the frequency of completion of one cycle in 1 second. The higher the frequency, faster is the processor. But nowadays, processors come with multiple cores, so comparing processors becomes somewhat complicated. A better method of comparing processors is based on their flops or the floating point operations they can perform in 1 second. The computer that has been used to make this video uses 8th generation Intel i7-8565U processor. This processor has a base frequency of 1.8 GHz and max frequency of 4.6 GHz and shows performance of 231.9 gigaflops. A frequency of 4.6 GHz means completion of 4.6 billion cycles within a second. At the time of making this video, the fastest processor available on PC is the 10th generation Intel i9-10900K. It has a max frequency of 5.3 GHz and performance of 1.3 teraflops or 1300 gigaflops. Nevertheless, it is not even close to the fastest processor on supercomputers. Currently, the fastest computer is the Fujitsu A64FX microprocessor, which powers the Fugaku supercomputer, which is the most powerful computer on this planet. This computer has a performance of 0.54 exaflops or 540 million gigaflops, which is about 415,385 times faster than the fastest PC processor. Clearly, processors nowadays have become high-end, so how does our brain compare to them? Calculating the performance of the brain is a very difficult task, and it is easier to find out how many flops would it require to simulate the human brain. This number comes out to be in an astounding range of 9 to 337 petaflops, which is not very far from the most powerful supercomputer. In that way, it looks like it will perform terrific if used in place of a processor, but it is not the case. At a single point of time, the maximum amount of data that the brain can process is just 60 bits. There are more factors on which the performance of a computer depends. These are memory, storage, energy efficiency, etc. Most PC and laptops now come with storage of 1 TB hard disk drive and 256 or 512 GB SSD. Some PCs like the iMac Pro can go up to 4 TB SSD. So, how much data can our brain store then, and is it comparable to modern computers? You would be surprised to know that the storage of modern computers stands nowhere near our brain storage capacity. Based on our understanding of brain cells today, which is very limited, we could estimate the brain storage capacity at 1 petabyte, which would be equal to the storage of 667 average PCs or 250 iMac Pros. The storage capacity of our brain is truly incredible. Apart from this, there are a few more things which brain has an upper hand compared to the processors, and that is prioritization of information. We always remember who our first crush or first love was, even after many years, but often forget what we ate yesterday for breakfast. It is so because the brain prioritizes storing of information that is more important in order to perform efficient utilization of storage. The next criteria while measuring the overall performance is energy efficiency, which decides how much energy does one require to keep working. Computers use very less energy and are considered as energy efficient machines, but our brain takes this skill to the next level. Our brain is 10 times more power efficient than the computers and uses only 20 watts of power despite being as powerful as a supercomputer in terms of flops. In fact, the Fugaku supercomputer uses 28.3 megawatts, which is same power usage as 1,415,000 brains. So summarizing, our brain outperforms PCs in every aspect with a huge margin, but still it can't be used as a primary processor because it can only process 60 bits of information at a particular time. If we want to power our computers with our brains, then we have to provide a different hardware that will aid in processing greater amounts of information simultaneously. This will allow us to have supercomputers in our houses with lesser electricity bill than before and storage capacity enough for our lifetime needs. Apart from this, We would also be able to use extra features like prioritization of information and automatic deletion of useless data. All this looks good on paper, but if we think about this practically, there are many challenges. First of all, how do we expect to get a brain? Humanity is far from making an artificial brain, and extracting the brain of an individual will definitely result in his death. Even if we suppose we get a brain somehow, connection of the brain to the computer would still be a very big challenge. The brain is a very delicate and viscous organ, and even very small nudges can lead to severe damages in the brain. Our body is connected to the brain through millions of nerves, but we can't use the same mechanism on computers because nerves are also very delicate and thin. Moreover, we don't have a way to connect millions of nerves to a port or circuit without damaging even a single one. When inside the body, the nerve cells keep on damaging and regenerating, which act as a repair for them. This would also not be possible if we try to power our PC using our brains. Our brain is a biological marvel, which is the result of thousands of years of evolution, which humanity is very far from achieving. And the idea of powering our PCs with brains is absolutely hypothetical, which is impossible to achieve, at least at the time of making this video. The human brain is the most complicated object on this planet, and its abilities are absolutely incredible, which leave even scientists speechless. Any person who thinks that he is useless and good for nothing should remember that he has a supercomputer in his head which may be waiting to get utilized. Videos like this require hours of research, scripting, editing, etc. A like from your side helps us to keep motivated and produce better results. Consider subscribing to our channel if you don't want to miss our future content. Thank you for watching.